What's good, peeps? What's good? We are back for another episode of Brothers Vent 2. T, I was worried about you for a second. Your trash ass watching WandaVision.
Man, I'm watching WandaVision, man. I'm trying to wrap it up, man.
I see we got our boy E back on the show tonight. What up, E? But it's your boy, Professor Swift, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm drinking no water tonight because I got to get on the road early in the morning and go support our Tigers as they play Grambling tomorrow. So I'm going to hit that road down to Grambling to see Deion Sanders live and in action.
This your boy T straight from the A, man. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. I'm wrapping up that WandaVision.
Bro, this nigga speaking into a motherfucking glass jar.
Here we go.
What up? This your boy Crowley, man. I want to give a shout out to the greatest high school in Mississippi, NJPS, D833 West Maple Street, Lanier High School. Boys for winning that championship, baby. Way to bring it back to the big house, the Coliseum, keeping the tradition and the legacy alive. Representing Jacktown. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Ward coming to you from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm drinking on a little gin tonight, and I just want to say that my prove me wrong tonight, man. I just want to say that go to where you're appreciated. Go and take our talents to where we're appreciated. That's the main thing I've been focusing on this week is just go to where you're appreciated, where they appreciate your academics, where they appreciate your athleticism and everything that you bring to the table. Let's get it.
Any goddamn way, shit. It's been a minute since I've been on this motherfucker, you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, I'm your conscience. I still say the shit that y'all want to say, but y'all be scared of, goddamn it. Man, I missed y'all, bro. I really
Oh,
No, I ain't talking about y'all niggas. I'm talking about everybody else. Ain't talking about y'all.
man.
So,
I knew
Come
it
in with all this foul language.
now let's go ahead and get started. Alicia Franklin, you said we not welcome in Grambling, but I'm coming anyway, and I'm bringing my AB flag. What's up?
Stop through and pick me up.
I guess you ain't going to the game.
Pick me up.
Oh man, I was planning on it, but
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, they moved the game to 12. They moved the game to 12, so I'm going to be on the road early more like at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to be at the game tomorrow. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We're not going to be on like long tonight because I got a long drive tomorrow morning, but my brother Jay Ward put this one in the comments or in the group chat for us to discuss tonight. Rob, I thought you was going to be late. Go ahead, Rob, with your introduction. Well, you are late, technically.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Coming to you by way of Bolton, Mississippi. I'm in Bolton right now.
We can tell by that drapery in the background, homie. We can tell by the drapery in the background you in the woods.
That's a grandma house right there.
I had to make the trip, man, for my oldest, man. This is 16th birthday, man. So I had to make the trip down to celebrate with him. 16 is a big age, man. So here in Bolton, man, representing. Let's get right to it.
I bet. So, first topic tonight.
Hold on, Swift. Can y'all hear me? Am I echoing? I'm good.
No, you good.
One time for La. We won state again. We always winning. Shout out to La for winning the women's basketball championship. You did.
And with that being said, I think the Lakeside Beavers women's basketball team won state too. So shout out to Lakeside winning state for the women's basketball team. But since we own the topic, education,
833, homie, Lanier.
Higher education. Let's get into K through 12 though. K through 12 education looks a lot different now. A lot different, of course, outside of the virtual environment. These teachers are different. The high schools are different. You see a little bit more racism being brought out of these high schools. It's just a different type of environment than what we grew up in. So I want to get y'all opinion, or Jay Ward, I want to get your opinion first, because this is your topic. What was education like, K through 12 education like for you growing up compared to how it is now? And would you want your child going to an all-black school, or would you want them to get a little bit more diversity in their education growing up, and why?
So first of all, I went to school in multiple places. I went to school in Louisiana and Mississippi. Honestly, I don't feel like I was ever put on a college track. to, you know, from the beginning. Even when I was in high school, no one ever talked to me about, you know, what track you're on. So I guess they just made the decision for me. And had it not been for Jackson State and the summer development program, then I wouldn't even been eligible to go to college. And so I'm very thankful for that. And Cynthia Bell and Deborah Bell and everyone who helped me to get into college in the first place. I feel like there were two different educations being given, especially at my high school and in elementary schools that I went through. I remember always being in trouble for different things, and it was just like the most random things. Plus, all throughout elementary school, I know I did not have a black male teacher at all. And then in middle school, I had coaches that were black. And then in high school, every black teacher I had pretty much was a coach. And they taught things like PE, history. I had one teacher that taught like science, black teacher that taught science. But other than that, I never had like a black male teacher. So I think that's something that has improved, but you know, it's still something that we really need to improve on. As far as like my children, I would like for my children to go to a diverse school just so they can get that diversity, because I would like for my children to go to a historically black college. So I think there is a bit of a culture shock once if you've gone to an all black high school and you've gone through all black schools, you know, secondary school, elementary school, and now in college. So then once you get into the real world, I think there is a bit of a culture shock because you've never really been around, you know, other cultures. So I think that it's important to be able to just experience all cultures. And the reason why I say that, it may sound kind of weird, but you can get the black culture experience from our family and from us. So I want you to experience being around other cultures and other, you know, races and how other people see things. So I think
I'm gonna kind of disagree with that point because black culture at HBCU may look a lot different than black culture in like suburban Dallas. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I know people who went to, and I'm not picking on this particular school in Alexandria, but you know, if you went to Peabody and then you went to Grambling, it was like no culture change at all. But then when you went to, once you left those two places and then you went somewhere else, it was just like, wait, what? So, you know, I do think that is, you know, but I think it's all about what you expose your children to as well. So even if they go to all black schools throughout, as long as you are helping them to understand other cultures and you're showing them different things, then you are indeed exposing them to other things.
Gotcha. And Kim bring up a good point. We had Mr. Strange. He was our top black role model. He was actually the reason I went to Jackson State. He was our high school band director. He was a Jackson State graduate. I think he marched the year after Lewis Liddell. He came in a year after Lewis Liddell. But you brought up an interesting point. Ian, I'm gonna come to you next because you've been gone for so long. What was education like for you growing up? And did you have a black male teacher in anything other than PE? And would you let your kids go to all black school?
Man, goddamn it, I ain't get a goddamn black teacher till I was probably like the 8th grade. His name was Elliot Anderson. He taught math. I could not stand this motherfucker, bro. I could not stand it. Not because of like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't like him as a teacher. He was one of them like them Joe Clark people, you know what I'm saying? And because like that's what we at the time, that's what a lot of us needed, you know what I'm saying? Cause like they took my whole class to jail. You know what I'm saying? They made everybody take that field trip. Everybody had to take the field trip though. Back then.
I was scared.
They took everybody to jail for the day.
Why did they do that, bro?
I don't know. I still don't
Scared straight type stuff.
They took all the males in the class. They took us to jail for a field trip.
I think they were really trying to fingerprint us, bro. For real, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
and get
he was
us
one
in
of
the
the people
system
that signed off on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of the people that volunteered to go. So then, I mean, I get what he was trying to do. I just didn't necessarily agree with it. As far as like, you know what I'm saying, like black culture, I mean, I do agree that you get it. Excuse me. I believe that you get it in the house, but at the same time, I feel like the American culture, the American school system as a whole is a failure because the curriculum that they preach to you and they teach to you is basically is designed to get you to make you institutionalized to where all you want to do is work for somebody. And all thing they tell you growing up is go to school, get good grades so you'll get a good job. Right? They don't teach you how to necessarily flourish as far as like, you know what I'm saying, with your skill set. They don't teach you to be more cognitive with your skill set. So say for instance, I'm a software engineer, but at the same time, no software engineers was around me actually building something. You know what I'm saying? All the people that you saw doing something with their hands, or they did things with their hands and made money on the side or whatever, like, you know, your barbers, electricians, people of that nature. So you don't get taught that. So I feel like the school system is flawed to the point I'm getting to the point to where it's like, man, do I even want my kids to the American school system, or do I like? Is it better for me to like become a teacher to teach them? You know what I'm saying? I still want them to have social skills and everything like that, but at the same time, it's like I don't want them to suffer the same mental box that I get put in, and then they have to go through the same rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Because like, look at core. Half them kids don't understand this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like how they do core math and shit. Most of them don't even understand that shit. And then 80% of the shit that you learn through school, you never fucking use. Right or wrong.
I don't disagree with them because, well, we'll talk about it later, but keep going.
Oh shit, that was it.
Okay, good point. But no, we never had anyone take us to a jail. I wish somebody would at Lakeside take us to a jail and like what?
Yeah, bro, that was a field trip. That was a dead ass field trip. Like no bullshit.
Like I don't understand the point of that.
Real talk, bro. That was all bad, bro. For real. I was talking about.
Well, they took our straight to jail.
Yes, it fails our kids. They fail at government and public education. 10th grade was my first black male teacher, taught math and coach. And I did have a high school math teacher. He was so trash. Oh my God. I got my first low grade in that man class in high school. He brought my GPA down. He was so trash. Rob said they did have a black male principal. He was a major alcoholic.
Oh shit, yeah. Hell yeah, cuz. I just thought about that.
So talk about it, Rob.
Damn. I just remembered that shit.
All right, so my experience was a tad bit different because my mom taught in Clem Public Schools. At the time, it was called Clem Public Private School. So it was majority white. She was a teacher in the school district, so we were able to go to Clinton when I was in elementary school. And that's where I had my first dose of racism because they wouldn't let me into the gifted program because I was a black child in second grade. It was an all-white gifted program. Even if you had the grades, if you were black, you couldn't get in. So my mom transferred us to our home school, which was here in Bolton, and that's where I kind of had like the whole black experience. But I believe that transferring me from Clinton to Bolton is what made me who I am today, because when I was in Clinton, I didn't really have to fight. I didn't really have to deal with a lot of adversity. And I didn't have the black experience as far as having black teachers. I had my first black teacher when I was in seventh grade. His name was Mr. Vincent. Most of the teachers that taught me went to elementary and high school with my grandparents, and so they knew me personally. They were the first ones that had us watching Eyes on the Prize. They were the first ones that kind of generated that black pride within us, because it was a school in the middle of Bolton, but they had a lot of black pride. And I think my situation was different because I was a quote unquote smart kid. And so they kind of used to separate us from everybody else. And so they give us special privileges and take us on trips and stuff like that. Because we got banned during my time at VR Rubin. We got banned from the zoo because one of the students in my class killed an alligator.
Bad at full.
So we got banned from the zoo. And so we couldn't go to the zoo. We couldn't go on any trips or anything. And so because I was a straight A student, they made this thing called Abbott, called A's and B's because I tried. And so they separated all the A and B students from the rest of the students, and they took us on trips and gave us prizes and stuff like that. But I think that my experience was a tad bit different because of that. But I was also at a predominantly black elementary, middle school, because it was a K through 8 school. And so that kind of forged my already black pride that I had, because my family, my dad and my grandfather fought the KKK here on the land here. And so they were a bit more in tune with black pride, being proud of who you are, standing on who you are, not shirking to be who you are. And so I kind of was raised in that environment, and I went to a school with people who thought just like that. And so it made you love who you were and not hate yourself. which was why going to Jackson State was like that was an immediate for me. I had offers from like 8 or 9 different schools because, like I said, I had a great GPA, honor roll student, etc. But going to Jackson State for me was like it was a slam dunk because HBCU. It was right here in Jackson, and even all the bad stuff I heard about it, I understood at the time that people are gonna say negative stuff about your own stuff,
Yep.
about black stuff, but that didn't stop me from going to Jackson State. And you have to recognize that. You have to instill that in your kids at home. Like you have to get it into their spirit, and so whenever they do face people who are talking trash about things that are black, they can be able to decipher between sugar and shit. And that's what
Yeah.
I was able to do. And so that was the reason why I
I'm,
chose Jackson State because
and I'm with Kim.
it was
Like
black, man.
listening to y'all, it's like y'all went through some stuff in high school. I saw one post about kids coming up and making not making bums, it's like shooting up the school. This fights every other. I think the biggest event that happened in my school that really shook our school was when we consolidated with our rival town, and we had this large fight the second day of school. It's like the only thing I can remember that was like
That's
really,
it.
that's it.
Nigga, when I was in high school,
Man,
they
we
had
had all
kidnapped
kinds
the
of
principal.
stuff, man.
They kidnapped the principal.
Yeah, Delisha Martin, the
Yeah, held her
superintendent
hostage.
over they kidnapped her ass and held her ass
That was a
hostage.
year after I
Bro, like,
graduated from high
nigga,
school.
nigga, Raymond was trill as fuck.
How many high
Nigga,
schools?
fuck,
So,
Raymond was
Yep.
trill as hell.
did y'all have a choice in what schools y'all went to though? Like, could y'all choose? Like, was it more than just one high school and one middle
Two.
school?
For me, it was Raymond. You go to Raymond or
Two
you go to
choices.
Hines HS.
See, we only had
That's
one
all.
in my.
Yep, that's it. Two choices.
We only
Yep,
had one
that's it.
choice: either Lakeside or you had to go to this St. Mary Catholic School, which is a private school. You know, we ain't paying for that, so we only had one school we could go to: Lakeside High School, Lakeside Middle School, Lakeside Elementary. I had the same classmates from pre-K all the way up to high school.
Swift going to school on the magic school, but
You got a couple people you grew up with, and then you merge with other towns and shit.
Right.
We didn't have it. What about you, bro?
Man, I started off with black teachers, man. It was love across the board. It was discipline across the board from them. Elementary consisted of black and white teachers. And middle school was when I had my first black male teacher. And honestly, I was blessed to have him. He's a civil rights activist leader, Robert Bob Moses, over the Algebra Project, YPP. So he came in and taught us a different way of math. I got to travel across the state teaching teachers math. That was big. He truly influenced a lot of us within that community. And then attending Lanier High School, that was life. Our teachers taught you about life, honestly. Our teachers made us learn how to, write checks, keep account books. Our economics teacher, Mr. Blue, he went hard. It was, so for me, all my public school teachings more so were educational and life experience teachers, because our teachers didn't hold back anything. They let us know when we was fucking up. They praised us when we were doing good. My teachers probably did more than what any teachers probably should have. Like, especially like my senior year, like we could get in our teachers' cars and go drive. You know what I'm saying? They'll want us to go get lunch and we'll go get lunch for them. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, a lot of people hear bad things about my high school. But when I say we produce some of the greatest people around the world, but they don't talk about that when it comes to Lanier High School. It was one of the first black high schools in Jackson. But they choose to focus on the bad to try to bring us down. But I refuse to go into that narrative. But like I said, it was great. It taught you life lessons. And as you can see, hey, we come from it, but we shine like diamonds, baby. And honestly, my parents pushed schooling and education because they knew what they had, been through and what they were lacking. So it wasn't so much that my schools were pushing it. And yes, our counselors and our teachers always told us, we're we're better than where we're coming from, you know, where we at. So they always push higher education or going to the military or getting a trade. It was just never focused on one main thing. So I can't say that I had it bad like that, you know what I'm saying, as far as educational wise, because they always pushed us to be greater than what we were.
And I'm just looking at y'all comments. I'm hearing y'all stories. Y'all had some real traumatic experiences in high school, so I can only imagine what these kids are going through now with the lack of parental involvement and these teachers being so young. I saw someone, Jay Ward said, Crow, if you would smash some teachers, just say that. We didn't have no smashable teachers when I was
time out.
Hey,
Lanier High
for
School.
real.
Now we'll say this: Lanier High School probably was one of the first schools to get caught up with the teacher students back in the days. You can go check that out definitely. So not to put it on blast like that, but that you had those things going on beforehand, and it wasn't, and so
but
it was happening.
But like I said, we didn't have that many teachers that was younger or close to our age that we could approach, or they get caught up in. I think my second, third grade teacher was like my next door neighbor, so I really couldn't act up in her class. And these folks were teaching at our high school for like 30, 40 years. But you are seeing a story come out now almost every other week of teachers and students getting caught up, either on both sides, man and woman, woman and man. It don't matter. The teachers and students are getting caught up. I think it only lifted up now because of the virtual environment. But we didn't have that growing up, so I can only imagine what it's like now.
You had it going on, but
you probably just didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it.
I knew we had one situation. We didn't have any professors, teachers like that was out there like that. We only had one.
Hell no, nigga. They caught the coach. They caught the football coach with a 9th grader when I was a junior in high school. And he kept his job.
Yeah, they definitely had it. Just didn't hear about it that much.
I'm telling you, we only had one situation. Trust me, we got a real small town.
But you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it. Like, say for instance, like my generation, like we went to a Provine or Jim Hill football game or something like that. Before the fourth quarter in, you better be hollering ass. You gotta think about that though. That the Callaway games used to always get shot up afterwards. All types of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just you going to a football game or a basketball game, something like that. Well, that's also like a traumatic experience. You gotta take it to.
I appreciate you for leaving my high school out of this, sir. Thank you.
Only because I was a fan of Monte, but we know what happened when Monte used to come to town and shit.
What's up?
The Charlie White game used to be super packed.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, to you brothers, what would the ideal school look like for you and for your kids that you would just want your kids to go to? Like, what does that look like? How do we build that?
Shit, I don't know. I don't like school.
The ideal
man, I will
for me would definitely be law. You know what I'm saying? Like old law, real talk, because law was majority black, but we still had that white, like we still had a nice white culture. You know what I'm saying? And I thought all high schools were pretty much like law. When I got to Jackson, I realized that some of these high schools are trash, man.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I'm just saying, Crow, like, for real. Like, law, we have a great football program. We have booster clubs. We have, a lot of money. We take
But y'all in one town, though. Like, if Jackson was to consolidate, we would be a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah,
G.
we
Let's
won,
be real about it, man.
but no, because law in the county, we have like 6 schools, bro. But law has one high school. You absolutely right about that. But I'm just saying.
So that's what makes some of these smaller counties powerhouses.
Not really though, because y'all still have the same amount of students. Y'all still have the same amount of students though. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a nice mixture of white teachers, black teachers. We had clubs and groups. Now, law right now is like 95% black. You know what I'm saying? But when we was in school, it was like everything. That really what made me the person that I am. And that's how I'm so well-rounded, because like elementary, we got the magnet schools and all that. Then, junior high, everybody come together, whatever, high school. So it's just you get the real world coming from law, because you see I'm hood as hell, but at the same time I still got a good education. Like Rod was saying, like, I got at least 30, 40 offers to all type of college. I could have went to college anywhere in the fucking country, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the same thing here. I got invited to the White House. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I still got the invitation. You know what I'm saying?
By who?
But see, you got invited. They took us to the White House.
Well, I'm gonna put it.
You know what I'm saying?
My parents had to pay.
I'm just saying, bro.
Had to pay for the flight. That was the only thing. I went in. My parents weren't in financial, position.
So but I'm just saying, like,
I think the ideal school district is probably Oxford, bro. Listen, let me explain. Let me explain first. All right. I was in Oxford from about 94 to like 98. So that's why I went from pre-K, from like first grade to third grade, right? Bruh, these niggas had like all types of fucking programs, all types of fucking sports, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, it was expensive, but they had like a decent mix to where, you know what I'm saying, when I went to Bramley and Oxford Elementary, everything was cool. I had never experienced like the racism shit. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm between 5 and 8. Most times you ain't gonna really like, experience that. You know what I'm saying? Because like the ratio was off. It was still majority white, but you had enough black people to where, you know what I'm saying, you was decent. But I lived in a black neighborhood, if that makes sense. But all the black people in that neighborhood went to Bramley and went to OE. I transferred, moved back to here, I went to Gear Road. I still lived in Bozeman, but I went to Gear Road Intermediate, and I went to goddamn Byron Middle School, the old one. They used to be beside the McDonald's that was raggedy full. So I went there. They was like, you know what I'm saying? They shit was like a little better. They had their shit together, except the building was just all fucked up. Like it was mold growing on the walls and shit. Like if you like lean too far to the left, like you'll fuck around and fall off like this big ass staircase. If you open the door out to go to the 8th grade hall, you'll fall until like the football stands. Shit like that. Like
but you said it's the school system?
Huh? No, the hood. Like this in Hines County. This is a Hines County school system. Hines County School District, bro. Like that's the old in 2003. You look it up. It's the bond issue that came out. That's how they got the money to build a new school, the one that's on Davis Road. All right. Left there 7th grade. I mean, for 8th grade, and I went to Bolton Ellis for 8th grade, then Raymond, all that shit. Total different change. Even though I grew up with everybody, it was like almost like a culture shock. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't used to seeing motherfuckers dunking that's in 6th grade and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had never seen no athlete like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's the type of water motherfuckers got in fucking Elvis. Like, them niggas just athletes.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know what I'm saying, the behavior changed. The you know what I'm saying? At the time, I probably still had an accent, like a proper ass accent. You know what I'm saying? Before that. So even though I grew up with everybody, went to the same church and shit like that, it was still like kind of like two different worlds, if you kind of will. You know what I'm saying? So
what you're saying, Ika, we got to wrap this up. Go to the next.
You kind of get the best of both worlds when you get we have more exposure, if you will. Let me say that. Not because of white people. Let me make that very clear.
Exactly.
It's just because if your schools are funded and they have money, you get a better overall experience as far as exposure.
And that funding is managed correctly. We're gonna put that.
I'll just say we still had metal detectors, you know what I'm saying? The president of the Booster Club, he in jail right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know.
So we let nigga go to the mayor. That nigga went to jail for corruption. So like, it didn't. The same problems happen.
Cass Tech, that's in Detroit, I think. But we're gonna go to any final thoughts. I know T had like 30, 40 offers because he was an athlete in the thugs. He was smashing all the teachers.
Chill out, man.
You play football?
Yeah. I really did want, like, never mind about the teacher. I ain't do none of that though, but I was an athlete though. You know,
we know it. But move. Any final thought? No final thoughts.
No, we done talk too long on that.
You know, somebody country they say athlete.
Hey, for real.
They stretch that bitch out like it's a long word. Athlete.
So
I still got records.
So we talked about this topic before, but we're gonna hit on it again.
Country nigga.
And my boy Osei definitely touched on this topic, and it's basically about men and their emotions. And this is feeding off of what's his name? Ocho Cinco?
Yeah.
Yeah, his podcast where he talked about his emotion and everything that he went through with his mother. And one of the things that came out of this was, why don't men show their emotions more? Why don't we lean on our friends who are going through traumatic experiences? And why is it considered weak to show emotions? Or why don't men show emotions that are considered weak, right? So I want to get y'all input on this. Let's talk about it for a quick second. Why is it that men can't show emotions that are considered weak? Or why don't men show emotions? And why don't we lean on our friends more when we're going through these traumatic experiences or going through things in period in life?
I think we do.
You think we do?
I think we do. I don't think we do it with everybody. Everybody's not privileged to be in our inner circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, we were raised to be strong and not be weak, and hide your emotions, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. But I think with us being educated and knowing that that's not really good for a man at the end of the day. So I think that you should have at least one or two people that you can kind of vent to or get it off your chest with, because holding that stuff in, like I told y'all before, I've seen the worst in people when you hold that type of trauma in and you can't, release it and get it out. So I think that
other, unhealthy outlets.
Yeah, I think that we're doing a little better with that. But honestly, at the end of the day, I wouldn't, like I said, you need one or two people that you can talk to about it, because at the end of the day, don't nobody care, about what you're going through, because people going through their own battles themselves. And then again, the world is just a little bit grittier for the black man. So, you kind of just have to learn how to deal with it and let it bounce off of you, and, just let it roll off your chest. So I think you find you one good person to talk to, maybe two, and, roll from there.
And Keith Bush and Miss Carol Larisha answered the first part of the question, why it's considered weak for men to show emotions. She put, because society told them it's, y'all see the word, I don't have to say it. And Keith Bush put, men don't trust people with our emotional secrets. So answer that part of the question, Keith. Why don't we show our emotions? I think you said because people don't care, but what do you think?
People people really don't care. And then a lot of time people will use that stuff against you in the long run, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you confide in somebody, and then that's just like you, and not even just with men. That's just like when you see some women, when they fall out with their home girl, they tell all the damn business about, what I'm saying? Like, why you put me out there like that? Tell the folks that I was sleeping on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm on the trap mattress. You know what I'm saying? So
and Devin put in the comments, it has a lot to do with how women respond to it. That's a oof. What you think, bro?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Say it again.
I said, what do you think? Why don't men show their emotions? Why is it considered weak to show emotions? And who can we lean on? Why don't we lean on our friends a little bit more when it comes to expressing our feelings?
We touched on this a long time ago about first being raised, definitely being told not to show those emotions. They're weak in the beginning. So that's instilled in us, not to cry, not to express how we're feeling at that moment in time. Even growing up, if you think about it at funerals, when the men get emotional, you got somebody quickly running to garner that man and tell him, hold it in, it's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? The women are kind of allowed to fall out in a way and really boo-hoo. But that man got to be corralled and he got to hold it in and stay strong at that moment. So each situation that's traumatizing or an emotional experience for a young man all the way up into manhood along the way is kind of stopped and paused up until he either realize it's okay to express those emotions, get around other men who show him and teach him it's okay, either go to therapy and learn that it's okay. But as men, we have to realize within ourselves it's okay to be emotional within ourselves. You hear a lot of us saying, I don't like crying. Like, we'll be quick to cut ourselves off crying. honestly, when and not trying to bring it up, when we found out we lost our dear brother K Law, depending on where we got that news at, you know what I'm saying? Depending on who we were in front of when we got that news, either we was like, let me step away for a minute, and then you had to let it out. If I'm gonna just use Rob as an example, if he was in front of wifey and he got that news, it was probably okay for him to express those emotions. But it all
And I
depended
was.
on
Yep, sure was.
and then depending on where we were at that in that moment in time when we got that news, if it was okay or if we had to hold it in and wait till we got somewhere where we were comfortable enough, or if we could find a space to let it go within that second and then come back to and put on a strong face, even though we were still tormenting and hurting in the inside, because as we all know, it's a double standard. As last week we learned, it's a double standard for women in certain situations. It's a double standard for men when it comes to showing their emotion and who you're showing your emotion with. So it, like you all say, you as a man, you have to self-check yourself when you come into a traumatized situation and see if it's okay to let those emotions out, or either knowing when you're gonna have time to let them out and hoping nothing happens along the way before you get a chance to let them out. That way you won't explode.
So let's real quickly. We running close to an hour now because I know this last topic gonna be a lot of time. But real quick, J, E, and Rob. What do y'all think? We start with J.
For one, I agree with what everybody else is saying. I know this is a really deep topic, and I don't want to rush it, but I think for one, we're accustomed to letdown and heartache. It becomes the norm. It's like all of us are going through so much until it's like I don't want to be selfish and tell you my problems because we all have problems. It's just like I remember one time I was in Alexandria and somebody started shooting at the court, and nobody really responded because it was just like, oh, they're just shooting. I'm like, we're not gonna really. It's just they just casually laid down on the ground until it was over with, and it was like that's it. So it's just like other people in that situation would panic. But so it's like when everybody around you is almost in a state of drowning, you kind of become numb to it, and we shouldn't have to become accustomed to so much heartache and so much pain and trauma. But I think the main thing with this is that we as black men are glorified through masculinity and strength in our bodies. It's like if you are strong, you get glorified. If you know you can run a football, you get glorified. You're not really glorified by the weaker things or the you
What
could
do you
be the
mean by
smartest
glorified?
person. So glorified, like put on pedestals. Like I had no identity at my high school until I started playing football, and I sucked at football. But still, just wearing the jersey and all that type of stuff, the teachers, oh, I got you covered and all that. It's like they look out for you more, and it's like I'm the worst player on the team, and you don't even care because I'm on the team. And it's like you get an identity because it benefits the school
This
when your
go
school
a
wins
lot.
championships.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it benefits the school. It benefits the school when you are a winner and your team is good. It benefits the school. It brings notoriety to the school and all of that. So it's like you get an identity and you're glorified or you're more valuable to people based off your body, and that goes back to slavery. When you have a bigger, stronger person, it's like, oh, look at him. We need to breed him because look how valuable he is. But nobody really celebrates you when you're the smartest person in the school. Like one of my close friends, his name is Robert Walker. Uh, he made a mistake and played as alpha, but it's cool. His uncle was the mayor. He actually worked at Jackson State for a while as well. He was the smartest person I knew. I'm like, this dude should be celebrated. Like, he's going to be the valedictorian of our school, and nobody really talked about it because they was too busy talking about the guy who, was the fastest person on the team, and I just didn't think that was right. And so you are scared to be sensitive because nobody's going to throw a pity party for you. Nobody's going to really celebrate you for having these feelings and these emotions. So you want to be this big tough guy because that's what's valued. And then I think ultimately at the end of the day, we don't vent and show our emotions and our feelings and things like that because we already know that it will not help our situations improve. And I think that's the bottom line. It's like no matter if we cry about it, don't cry about it, it's not going to help it. It's up to you to pull yourself up and move on and be stronger. So I think that's that thing that makes you not want to vent to anybody, because even if you do, it ain't gonna change nothing. So you just like, I'm gonna just eat this, drink about it, smoke about it, internalize it, and just keep moving on. And I think that's that main reason why we don't really rush to tell people about it. You might tell that one person that's in your circle, like T said, but other than that, you're gonna just eat it and move on.
And I think we might have to talk about this a little bit later too. Being weak or being emotional does not benefit society. Being a black man and being emotional or weak doesn't benefit anyone. Monetarily, we live in a capitalistic society, so that doesn't help anybody. So we don't get those resources, or that someone coming to our aid and or benefiting from being emotional. Women can benefit from being emotional. They get TV shows and endorsement deals and so many other resources and outlets, monetary gain. But black men,
nobody wants to see us on a reality show crying and being emotional and all that. They don't want to see that.
Ooh, that's a topic for another day. Real
I don't
quick.
want to see that shit either. I don't see that shit. I mean, I fucks with I Am Athlete though. That be some real shit. But like when he started breaking down about his moms and all that shit, I was like, I feel you, but I ain't about to watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no goddamn emotional triggers for me. Fuck that. But now
this is why we don't discuss these things.
Man, all right,
go back to
quick question, E. You said you didn't want to watch it because of emotional triggers. So obviously, do you think you have to?
Figure speech.
Now let's go ahead and get through. But
I mean, whatever. Go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead, ask your question, bro.
No. Go ahead. Move on, my brother.
I ain't mean to cut you off, brother. Oh, go ahead, goddamn man. Fuck it. I just like what T said. At the end of the day, nobody gonna give a fuck like you give a fuck. So why even work yourself up about it? Like wondering shit like that. Because like nobody's gonna care. You gonna be down out on your ass or whatever. All this shit going on, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, I understand it's stressful and shit like that. But in the day, nobody gonna give a fuck about how you feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you grow accustomed to. Nobody's gonna care as much as you care. You can put your emotions out there for as many people as you want to, but at the end of the day, you still got problems, they got problems. Everybody just get taught the shit, suck it up and deal with it.
Now I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, though, E, because if any of y'all reach out and say y'all going through something, we gonna lend a helping hand. So
shit, I help motherfuckers all the time, but like at the same time, like shit, it ain't nobody else's responsibility to make sure I'm okay but me. You know what I'm saying? I own up to that. That's accountability on my part. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If I'm walking around this bitch pissed off, upset at the motherfucking world, then like shit, that ain't nobody else's problem but mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's up to me to get my shit together so I'm not out here passing it on to other people. You feel me?
That's fair. I get you on that point.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you. So you don't want to cast negative energy on anybody else, so you're gonna get yourself together so you can help out other people, basically.
I mean, shit. That's what I be trying to do. Shit.
Fuck it. But E, who do you take it to? Like, eventually it's gonna boil over. So who do you take it to? Like, what do you do with it?
The liquor bottle.
But is that healthy though? But that's what I was getting to, where you said, it's a trigger out there for you to watch stuff like that. So
like that shit it don't just like make me like sad and it just be boring as fuck. Like, like so it just be like, okay, because I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't my problem. I don't know him. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like
that's fair.
Okay, like I don't really care because I don't know this person. His problem is not affecting me or my life. So I'm like, damn, I feel for you, but like shit, you need to get this shit worked out, bro. You need to take accountability for yourself. You know you fucked up. You know you have these emotional barriers and shit like that. So shit, it's time for you to have that talk to yourself in the mirror, understand and embrace that you're a fucked up individual emotionally, and then you deal with it. It sounds harsh as fuck, but that's real talk.
But it's not that easy though. It's not that easy.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. By no means am I saying it's easy. I'm just saying what needs to happen.
I got you. Okay. Rob, what you think?
So I think men and women aren't accustomed to seeing men show emotion. Like I saw, like I I just saw some of the stupidest stuff on Twitter when this topic came up, man, and it really pissed me off because everyone's trying to throw blame, but men and women have been like socialized to not see or to not react when men show emotion, and if they do show emotion, men and women will call this dude a woman. We'll call them gay. We'll call them, acting like all of these derogatory things, and that's how you socially engineer men to shut up and take what's given to them. And if they say anything about it, they're weak, they're wrong, they're less of a man. And the worst thing you can say to a man is to say he's less of a man. And that's what a lot of men, it has happened to a lot of men. And because we interact with a lot of women so much, we go off of what a woman feels or what a woman thinks about what we do. And so a lot of men have been socialized to react based off what a woman's opinion is or what their homeboy's opinion is instead of how they actually feel.
Yeah.
And so in the military, 21 soldiers, and these are male soldiers, commit suicide a week. 21. And that's because they have nobody to talk to. They,
Wow.
can't go to anyone, and they feel like the people that they have fought with and that they have died and the shed blood with don't want to hear what they're saying. And so because of that, I have always made myself open to hear what anybody's going through because I've lost 16 soldiers to suicide because they didn't pick up the phone and call somebody. 16. I've been in the military almost 16 years. And so anytime in the military, I've probably commanded or been in charge of over 200
Is that his Wi-Fi or my
On the
Wi-Fi?
internet.
No, that's that Bo. That's that Jay Ward out there.
Yeah,
Damn, it was getting good. It was getting
men
good.
holding emotions.
it was.
Hell nah, it's them thick ass
Oh, I
curtains.
hear him
He
My
got
now.
back,
I can hear him now. I can hear him now. Yeah, I hear him.
them
Okay.
curtains blocking the Wi-Fi signal.
and my back.
Yeah,
Yeah, you back, Rob.
You
Go
back.
ahead.
Okay. And so yeah, I'm very keen when it comes to men showing emotion because that's why I'm in therapy right now. Because I wasn't told growing up that you shouldn't be crying and stuff like that. But you get social cues when you get mad and you want to cry, or you get mad and you want to break something. You get social cues by people telling man up, do this, do that, and it's killing us. Like it's killing us, and specifically for black men, we deal with a lot of stuff, man. Like I saw someone say, black men and black women, we go through the same stuff. I will beg to differ because I feel like if you're a black man and you're about your business, there's a heavier weight on you to do what you need to do to make sure everybody in your circle is okay. It's a heavy weight on us because we take it upon ourselves to make sure everybody in our life is good except for us. And so that's why I say we have to be emotionally available and emotionally intelligent to be able to accept when one of our brothers is actually going through something and not use it against them in the future, as well as just be a listening ear, man. Just have they can pick up the phone and say, I'm struggling, give me some time, or I'm struggling. Could you just hear me talk? I think we all as black men, I think we're getting better because we're becoming more educated as far as therapy, we become more educated as far as being there for one another. But I think we have such a weight on us because we have come from almost nothing and we're trying to build something. It's a heavy weight, man. It's a huge weight. And so I think we have to be emotionally intelligent to be able to accept when one of our brothers is actually struggling and be open enough to say, hey, man, I need to give you a call because I'm going through something. And then be able to listen to them and then not use it against them in the future and not look at them differently in the future. And just, we have to have that emotional intelligence, man, because everybody is not self-contained like, a lot of us are. Like I'm self-contained. I rarely tell people if I'm going through something. I know E's probably the same way because we're accustomed to people not caring what we're going through. But everybody's not like us. Another thing is therapy is a privilege. Therapy is a privilege. We have to stop telling people to go to therapy because everybody can't afford therapy. Everybody's job and insurance don't afford them to get therapy. So just telling people to go to therapy is just like saying I'm gonna pray for you. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's just lip service. Everybody doesn't have that privilege, man. Like going to therapy is a privilege. And so we have to be able to give people other means of helping them except for the check off, go to therapy, because everybody doesn't have that privilege.
And speaking of other means, we need to go a little bit deeper into this topic. I'm gonna pull some points out. And T, stay on me. We need to go and do a clubhouse on mental health next week and just have a conversation with all our participants in the comments. We need to go on and schedule that for next week. Any final comments before we go to this last topic?
I just want to say, Rob, you saw an alligator get murdered, so I'm pretty sure that was traumatic, and you probably need therapy if your classmates were able to
fifth grade,
murder
man.
an alligator. Like I can't wrap my mind around
man.
it. Like how Sway?
Right.
I just want to say this. Right. Okay. I know some of y'all used to me being on the show, but like I'm really just blunt as fuck when I'm talking about situations. I am not in no type of emotional distress or none of that type of shit. You feel me? Life is good over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm flourishing.
Hey, E. Samuels.
Huh?
Right.
E. Samuels.
Right.
Hey,
I just had to put that out there, bro. Like it's not me having an episode or something like that. Cause like the comments started flying. I'm like, bro, that's just the essence of it. That's just what I think. It's just my opinion. I know my opinions be a little bit too raw sometimes, but like everybody just take calm down. Calm down.
Go ahead, T.
I just want to encourage everybody to like let it out, you know what I'm saying? When you have just cry, you know, hey, like after you get that good cry in, man, you feel better about yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying cry in front of people and do all that, but you know, just let it flow, man. Whenever it do hit
everybody with this real fact right here. I do training for law enforcement, and I try to drop a lot of suicide knowledge on them. Just know every 12 minutes somebody is complete suicide, and up out of that, every 12 minutes 25 people have attempted it.
So let's go to this guest question. I hope it don't go too long. It's time for me to go to sleep tonight. Guest question. This one's gonna be interesting though.
Man, Swift go to bed so early. He like an old man.
I'm driving the
You gotta drive in the morning, man.
He gotta meet stepfather and come, get me out.
Oh man,
bro, ain't got no time.
He started laughing because he knew it was coming.
He chose violence.
Bro ain't got no cars on. Why you got Swift?
What you say?
I ain't say nothing.
Oh, okay.
Swift night. Back.
Hey, he know I don't like looking for parking, so you know.
Tonight was great. Before I forget, if y'all think it's interesting, can y'all discuss? If you've been married going on 6 years and then get a call of someone inquiring if you're their father and your wife or girlfriend encourage you to get a test, the test come back, it's your child. How would y'all handle that? And how would you expect for your wife or girlfriend to handle it? Keep in mind you never knew this, and it's been multiple guys tested, but never brought to you that the child was yours.
Hold on. So was the child produced in between the relationship or before the relationship?
This would be before, probably.
Okay.
Second part of the question: do y'all feel like the mother should have a sit down or explain it so it doesn't seem like the man wasn't a piss poor ass dude, meaning being the father and not knowing it's your child? Or is that expecting too much? Do I need to read it again?
Yeah, read that one more time.
So to summarize, you married, going on 6 years. Then someone from your past call and say, hey, I think you my daddy. Your wife or your girlfriend say, hey, go on and get the test and let's find out. Because she was starting back in the day. She had like 6, 7 dudes tested. And none of them came back that it was her, like that was a child, dad. But it comes back that it's your child. How would you handle it? And how do you expect your wife or your girlfriend to handle it? And do you think that the child's mother should sit down with y'all and say, hey, he wasn't a piss poor ass dad. He wasn't a bad father. I just didn't know who my baby daddy was.
I think that's a lot to unpack. So
it is.
So
I say this is gonna be a long. That's why
let's say for instance, all right. So first step, all right. There is an option there, right? It's an unpopular option, right? because you said the kid reached out, right?
Yeah, the kid reached out.
The child reached out and said, "Hey, I think you're my dad." Okay.
Right.
So now you have the option to either be in that child's life or not be in that child's life. That is your option. That as a man, that is your option, right? So you probably gonna get put on child support if you say no. But you know what I'm saying? That is your option as a man. And that's going to determine what type of person that you are. You know what I'm saying? If you the type to step up or you the type to run from it. You know what I'm saying? That responsibility. But at the same time, that if you do be in that child's life, it's gonna be one hell of a climb to try to make amends for being absent. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge hole to try to fill, you know what I'm saying? Because now you have a different life. Your life is basically just changed because you were just growing with your partner, and now, you know what I'm saying, you have to make sure that your partner, your current partner, is acceptable, is willing to accept that, you know what I'm saying, this is how your life has changed now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's gonna make somebody uncomfortable. Because if you,
I would say, how would you expect your girlfriend to handle that though?
That's what I'm saying.
No, you married. You said you led it with married, but
you said that you was married, right?
I said married or girlfriend. She said married or girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if it's a girlfriend, I don't see no woman staying through that. Not a girlfriend. No, I don't see a girlfriend staying through that. You know what I'm saying? Because now your time, all the time and attention that she was getting is basically gonna be cut in half. And then that's gonna make her life change, which is gonna add stress to her. You know what I'm saying? So she's gonna feel like she might feel like, okay, I can't take this, I can't deal with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. And then you also have to watch because she could resent the child once it becomes in your custody. You know what I'm saying? So that can also create issues as well. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to worry about baby mama drama, all that type of shit. That's a really sticky situation. You know what I'm saying?
So Rob, I'm gonna go to you, but I really want you to touch on that last point too. Do you feel like the mother of the child should have a sit down and explain the situation, or is that expecting too much?
Man, so I've been in a situation like this, but the reverse. It was a while ago, some years ago, where the child ended up not being mine. That's another story. But first off, the choices you have is being in a child's life financially and physically, or just financially. Those are two choices. Because I don't think any man is just going to turn his back on his child and just give up. So you got to make that choice physically and financially, or just financially. Secondly, for me, if this is my blood child, my mate is going to either have to deal with it and stay or leave. Because honestly, for me, my blood comes before my mate. Period. And so if the situation was the same on the opposite end, you have to deal with what that person comes with. Thirdly, the mother's got to sit down with me and my spouse or girlfriend, and we got to talk this thing out. Like I said, I'm here right now to celebrate my son's birthday, 16 years. And so this has been a long time coming as far as working this blended family thing, man. It is not easy. It is very difficult. Children bring a different dynamic to any relationship if they're not a child that you had with the person that you are with. I mean, a completely different dynamic. You have to deal with their issues as far as their, money related, behavior related. They can break a relationship up by themselves. You also got to deal with the other parent. They come with issues. Are they demanding? Do they like to run to Facebook with any issue y'all have? Do they like to, stir up mess? I mean, it can be a very stressful situation. And so most people wouldn't stay, but I think it all depends on the parent of this new child and your mate. That's who it's going to depend on, because those two people can make your life a living hell.
But the parent absolutely has to come to both you and your partner and say, "Hey, I was starting at homecoming. I apologize. I didn't know, and this is what he wasn't. It's not like he was a bad father. I just didn't know who the father was."
Please.
Go ahead, T.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
We just gotta have a discussion of how we're gonna go forward with the child, and that I didn't know about the child prior to how it happened. Not really concerned at that point, but we gotta sit down and game plan how we're gonna raise this child as two separate units.
Well,
that is
okay, of course,
happen.
you got to do that, but I'm talking about talking to the wife and the baby mama and the wife talking and all that. Hey, I just don't see it. I mean, it'd be good if it happened, but I wouldn't expect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be having my ass on it. Like, okay, well, look,
Gotta hear with that Barbara. This is Shirley.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because if the truth is the truth, then there's really nothing to talk about. Like, if I didn't know about this baby, if it was before me and you got together, you know, I'm really innocent. You know what I'm saying? I'm innocent. You know what I'm saying? So you just gonna have to, take it for what it is. You could choose to stay or you could choose to leave. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm innocent because this all happened before I even knew you. I ain't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, you'll rock with me.
Okay. Do Rob or
It's still gonna be your fault.
Jay or Cody, y'all want to say anything?
Yeah, I'll jump in, man. I think to be with me, you already know how I roll. I'm not going to deny my child. And you know the type of man I am. If I have a child, I'm going to take care of him or her. That's just how I roll. That's just embedded in me, like, because I have my own dad issues and paternity issues and all that. So I'm going to roll with that. I won't compromise the mom. Like, let me have that talk. I'm not going to throw your mama under the bus because that parent, like, you live with your mom, so she's obviously going to be the closest parent to you. I was just explaining to the child, like, look, I did not know about you. Had I known, and that's the truth. I ain't got to go into her history or how she ran at homecoming and all of that. And all. I ain't got to go into that. That's not something that the child needs to know. I would just say that, look, if this was something that I had known, I'd have been here day one from the time you were born. But I'm just not finding out about that. I hope you would forgive me, but you don't ever have to worry about me not being here now. And hopefully the person I'm with, because I would have, hopefully carefully picked the right person to choose to be with me for the rest of my life. Hopefully I would have picked the right person so they wouldn't have a problem with me owning up to a responsibility that I've made, that I've created. So hopefully they would be there. And this is actually a situation that I'm very familiar with.
Okay. Crow, did you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Hey, at the end of the day, you get that phone call telling you got a child, whether married or, in a relationship, hoping that you step up, hoping that you're with someone who is open to understand that you have to build a relationship now with your new child. Hoping, in that situation also, I would go with Jay Ward said. I wouldn't more so need the mom to explain anything. I would explain, on my end, only communication I probably would have with that child's mother is probably maybe asking her why, it took so long for, me to come across the radar. You know who everybody you smashed that night, hopefully, unless you was just on a drunken night by time, the game was over and tailgate hit and shit, who knows? But that would be my only thing because now I have to play catch up. I have to now make my child understand that I was not trying to neglect them. And that's the thing about it. I really wouldn't be studying the mother in the situation because no telling what that child has gone through without you. Within that age limit or that time, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, so that would be the only thing I was trying to be checking in and building and hoping that, like I said, my spouse will be open to because no telling what that child has gone through without you. Who got the within that age limit?
That's me. My bad.
This nigga.
Sorry.
Go ahead, real quick.
Hey, but I'm done after that.
All right.
I just got a question about this whole situation, right?
Yeah.
So you go have sex with a woman, you know what I'm saying? You ski dinner, and then you don't get no plan B. What do you expect to happen?
You
But
spring them though, so you think differently. But we go
that's not how
But,
babies
but I'm just
made,
saying,
boy.
like, what you expect to happen? Like, you don't clean, you
But
spill milk and don't clean it up. Of course, it's gonna get sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect to happen?
unless it's almond milk.
Huh?
Nothing. Final thoughts for tonight. Because I get on this road tomorrow morning. T.
Man, I just think that again, the dude is innocent, man, and hopefully he'll step up and be a father to his child, you know, and hopefully, you know, his wife or old lady don't hold it against him. As far as education wise, I think that, you know, good mix of just all type of personalities, but I do think HBCUs are the best because going to HBCUs, you actually see the different spectrum of black people. You know what I'm saying? Like all type of different black folks all in one spot. And you know, they say that you can't you know, get the real world and be prepared for the real world if you don't go to a PWI and all that. But honestly, at a HBCU, you get the real world straight up. You know, anime dudes, you know, hood dudes, the straight geeky nerds, the gamers, like everybody there. And what was our Sega topic? I can't remember what the Sega topic was. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's showing emotion, man. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do see the importance of it. I just think that, you know, find you somebody that you can talk to and trust and confide in, but not a lot of people because people don't really care.
Okay. Jay.
I think that as far as like school, we have to teach survival skills and basic skills and blue collar work, as well as, you know, to go to the college route. Also, I think we need to teach both. And then, you know, the system, and especially when it comes to social studies, is set up to teach white supremacy. It just is. You know, you're not learning about Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton and all those type of people. So my ideal school would just be a small population and it's arts integrated. And, you know, you're learning about all cultures and multiple cultures. I also just want to say that, you know, a lot of times I think we fall into wanting to do a more entertaining show, but the purpose of the show is to vent and to address issues that we have. And a lot of times, you know, it's not the most funny thing, it's not the most, I guess, just, you know, exciting thing to watch, but that is the overall purpose of the show. And I wouldn't want to turn a viewer away, but if you get bored with it, then, you know, you can always go watch something else that's catered to more so foolishness and just always talking about different things like that. But I do think that that is the purpose of this particular platform, is to be able to articulate the things that we want to vent on and the things that other brothers might want to vent on, but they feel like, well, we can't vent on it because no one wants to hear us vent about it, which is one of the things that causes us to keep things in, because it's like nobody wants to hear us talk about that stuff. Of course, we can talk about relationships and, you know, what's going on with who's screwing who in the celebrity world and things like that. Of course, we can do that. And, you know, we will do that at certain times, but at other times, we really do have things that we really need to vent about and talk about. And we hope that our viewers will listen to that and be enriched by that and not just focus on when we talk about Lori Harvey or whatever. So, you know, just hopefully that we've worked hard enough to establish that background and establish that audience to be able to listen to us when it comes to multiple topics and not just relationship stuff or celebrity gossip and things like that. So I just want you guys to just be able to get the full gamut of what we have to offer, because, you know, we're trying to hit everything on all different spectrums.
Absolutely. We talk
Says the relationship nigga.
Everyone said he was fed up.
Nah, though, Jay Ward preaching though. Hey, Jay Ward, you preaching, man. I agree. I fully agree with you, bro.
because we talk about this in our group chat. Our group chat is so dynamic. We talk about everything under the sun, and Pridgeon actually like, y'all need to bring a show to this and actually put it out there. Though that's how it was born. But you actually,
Right.
we're not just gonna talk about relationships and dating all the time. We really have things we need to vent about and talk about. I'm gonna say it to my last point. Crow.
Definitely education. When it come down to it, I just want my son to get a well-rounded education. I want teachers who care, teachers who gonna provide structure, boundaries. I don't want my son to have to experience bullying or anything like that. But hey, I know it happens. But so daddy gonna make them tough. But I didn't have any true bad experiences. Matriculating through any my that's that Jack Stay word, baby. I saw you cover your face.
Now I'm covering my face at E, talking about some pull out for what, but keep going.
Oh wow. Okay. But yeah, definitely. Like I said, Bob Moses, Robert Moses, you all definitely gonna look him up. Was my first black male teacher for the Algebra Project, YPP. And then when it comes to black men being called weak or not being able to show their emotions, just find the right person, the right homie, the right young lady, depending on, situations. Find out who you can vent to about what situations, because everybody is not knowledgeable or don't care about certain situations. So just find the right people for the right things. And I agree with Rob when he said, I agree with him to a certain point that therapy is a luxury. But there are definitely means to get your therapy covered in some way for, some people. I'll say that much. But you can, to be honest, like Rob said, there are also other ways to work things out. They have break rooms where you can go break stuff. You can take up numerous things to help with that. And then, what was the last topic?
The kid.
Taking care of a child that you fathered.
Oh yeah, the kid, man. I would pray and hope that any male would step up and do what they need to do and help the child work through whatever they need to work through without in their absentee. And hope that you're with someone who's open enough, and vice versa. That's another thing. I know we touched on with but with us men be accepting, something like that along the way. Let's just say she gave her child up and she didn't tell us about it. And then all of a sudden she's able to get her child back. And now she tell you that, hey, I had a child when I was,
Final thought.
19, huh?
Final thoughts, not a whole speech again.
I'm just letting you know, G. Hey, it can't happen.
This shit up.
It can't happen like that. So you just got to make sure you look at it from all sides. That's all.
Oh,
Rob.
Okay. Melissa has entered the chat.
Oh hell, Rob, hurry up, wrap it up.
Hey, so I think for education for black kids, I think as parents you have to watch what's going on with your kids in education, because that's usually the first time they experience racism, be it educational racism or just flat out racism, and they will push your kid to either be in special ed or push them to detention center. So you have to be an involved parent as men and women and make sure you watch your kids going through education. What was the next topic? Men showing emotion. You have to have a trusted person to show your emotion. You don't show it to everybody, but I believe that men and women should get used to men showing emotion differently than women show emotion. Just because we're not showing it the way you feel we should show it doesn't make it wrong. And lastly, if a child pops up, it's your responsibility as a father to take care of that child. If your mate is not on board with that, that says more about them than the child that just popped up. And so you make your decision based on that. That's it.
E, and in your final thoughts, you said you have physical proof. Touch on that too, but go ahead.
Because I ain't got no kids. That's my physical proof. Like, what are you
So
talking
there was a 165
and up?
So you hit a big B and she took a plan B and final thoughts, E. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I was supposed to. Like, oh no, I didn't. So what? I'm like a veteran point guard. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of rings. You feel me? I've been out here.
Oh
Anyway.
God.
He say he don't discriminate, baby.
Like one day y'all gonna be comfortable in your own skin. I hope that for all y'all. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I was saying, I'd already said what I just said. You know what I'm talking about? As far as the kid, me them, you know what I'm saying? I was just about to say that too, Kim. I was like, it's gonna take me a while to warm up to him. Cause what if he want Chick-fil-A on the first time I'm meeting him and shit like that? Like you ain't even had McDonald's yet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hurry your way up to that Chick-fil-A spot. You feel me? I know you probably my blood and everything, but like you know what I'm saying? Baby steps. You feel me? Then you know I might do pizza. Kids, all the kids like pizza and shit. But yeah,
Little
you know
Caesars or Papa John.
huh?
Little Caesars or Papa John.
Shit, I'm getting that $5 wham bam. Thank you, man. What you talking about, nigga? Papa John and Papa John's nasty. These little Caesars hidden.
Well,
Yeah.
the Caesars ain't hidden, boy.
It tastes better than Papa John with that sour ass sauce.
Wrap it up, E.
Oh, but yeah, shit. That was really it. I ain't really had too much to say other than, you know what I'm saying? Glad to be back in on this here show talking shit to y'all.
It's good to have you back, brother. My eight club, keeping it real all day, all the time. My final thoughts: we are definitely going to have to do this clubhouse. Like I said, T remind me tomorrow or Sunday to make a clubhouse either Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
All right, for sugar.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. Once again, if you have any questions that you would like to ask us for us to talk about on the show, please do. And like my boy Jay Ward said, like my TN said, we are not just relationships. We talk about a vast range of topics. And this is pretty much what we do in our group chat day in and day out. But we want to make sure that it's out to it. Because sometimes we say things people don't want to say out in public. Sometimes black men get punished for saying some of the things that they really want to say. But we're going to talk about it and we're going to vent. And with that being...
Wait a minute. Kim had brought up, is we going to talk about male birth control? I was like, no, it's our body, our choice. You know what I'm saying? We are not going down that route.
If I could take birth control, I absolutely would.
Hey, follow
you
us.
go get snipped.
Hey, you can go get a vasectomy, homie. It's irreversible. You can go get.
Let me address.
Take my bullets.
Follow us on Instagram, man, Brother Vent 2, and the YouTube page. Yeah.
Kim says she
you will absolutely not receive access to the Alpha Beta group chat only. Only for Alpha Beta brothers.
Lord.
We are not letting anyone.
We post multiple scriptures and motivational quotes for each other.
We do.
Definitely.
Bible verses. If you want like motivational speeches and Bible verses, we can send those to you outside of the group chat. But
and T make motivational songs, you know, to uplift the brothers when we need, you know, workout songs when we're hitting the gym and things of that nature. So hey,
yeah,
absolutely.
And we send make sure that our brothers are taking care of their business. We answer your question, Fifi. What's your question? Hold on, let me scroll up real quick.
Hey, he teaches us about Bitcoin.
Hey, I do want to say this, Swift, too. If Warren Central and Vicksburg combined and made one football team, they would not lose a game. 5-8. 5-8. They would not lose a game. Just saying.
I'm confused at this point.
If a dog had a square ass, it would shit a brick.
Fifi said, keep saying it speaks volumes about your partner if they aren't as accepting of another kid popping and it's selfish. We may have to talk about that one. I don't get that question. We'll try to address it. But that's all. Thank you. Y'all have a great evening. I'm about to pack up.
Hey, Will, pick me up in Rustin, son.
I'm about to pack up. Y'all have a great evening, and we will see y'all next weekend.